Cairo, formerly a great in my previous life, but those are things of the past. I am now the Dragon Princess, an existence loved by the universe, one that is worshipped by all who possess the blood of dragons. My radiance can light up the entire Dragon Island, and my aura causes everyone to bow before me. I am the great, graceful, and beautiful, that Arte something something Lilith. Advertisements what? Why wasn't I hit by lightning even after I was so? After my witty and cautious experiment, I found that as long as I am speaking the truth, I won't be hit by lightning. In other words, the law only works when I get excessively, or when I say something along the line of, or. Right now, none of my words contain any hint of exaggeration. As a genuine princess, I need to maintain my gracefulness and etiquette at all times. Even if I have suffered a mental struggle and physical abuse at the hands of my deranged mother last night, I need to maintain my smile to greet my dragon language teacher. Good day, teacher, I greeted with a formal tone. It sounded so mellow even I felt it was a bit corny. Gee, good day. The old man in front of me bent his body. He was shaking continuously like someone who had contracted Parkinson's disease. His eyes were spiritless and frightened like that of a young girl who had just been assaulted. What did you do to him? Why does it look like his soul has left his body? Mother asked Karen, who stood behind the old man. Karen scratched his head and said helplessly, I have no idea, my queen, he's been like this ever since I brought him here. I wonder if he's sick or something. And you still dare to bring him here? Aren't you even capable of finding a healthy one? What if my dear daughter gets infected with his illness? Mother said with an angry tone as her eyes sharpened. Karen said sullenly, I told you I didn't know if he was ill. And he is indeed the most authoritative professor of dragon language in the entire Holy Dragon Empire. Advertisements. The old man was wearing a pair of presbyopia glasses, and his clothes looked like a magic gown as seen in the Harry Potter movies. The bald crown of his head shimmered like the sun's reflection off the clear lake. He does dress like a professor. The shivering professor suddenly straightened his body and looked all over the place absent-mindedly. Then he fell onto his knees and started scratching the ground using his hands. Is this really the Dragon Island? I never thought that I would ever set foot in the legendary Dragon Island in my entire lifetime. Heaven must have been touched by my good faith and gave me this huge opportunity. He looked like a wanderer who had finally returned to his hometown after 30 years of exile, leaning towards the ground and kissing it repeatedly. All right, that's enough. Stop with your craziness. Karen pushed him lightly with his front claws and continued, we've invited you here for a proper business. The professor's head almost crashed into the ground with the light push. Advertisements. This chapter is provided to you by Relibrary. Please visit Relibrary to show the translators your appreciation and stop supporting the content thief. Then he slowly stood up and adjusted his glasses. After a quick look at me and Mother, he turned around and advertisements. DDRA Dragon. The professor's eyes bulged out as he pointed at Karen while clasping his chest. He was so excited that it seemed he would faint any moment now. Seriously, uncle, just how slow can your reaction be? You only react to that now, after he brought you all the way here? The old man named Flint seemed as if he had just processed some new information, as he became emotionally moved for at least 3 minutes. When Mother was starting to get a little annoyed, he finally kneeled in front of Karen and nervously said, Oh, mighty dragon, for what matter did you call upon this Flint? As long as it is something I can be of help for, I will definitely risk my life and limb to help out. Karen pointed to me, who was behind the professor. It's not me who needs your help, it's that personage. The professor turned back to look at us, apparently finding it strange that there were 2 humans at this place, and they are our all-powerful queen and her highness the princess. Oh, so it's the queen and the princess. The professor turned his head around naturally as if the queen and the princess were merely 2 unrelated passers-by. In the next second, he suddenly froze and turned back with mechanical motions. He took off his glasses that had been smeared with mud when he fell onto the ground earlier and used his equally dirty gown to wipe it. After putting on his glasses again, he looked at Mother, Queen. Then at me, Princess. Karen put his head next to the professor's ear and said, didn't you know that dragons could take on a humanoid form? The professor's body shook violently again. MRRPH. His Parkinson's disease seemed to have become more serious, of course. I knew, but, boo-hoo-hoo, the old man cried like a salted fish who had finally been granted his lifelong wish. He cried like an 80-years-old child. I started studying the dragon language since I was 7 years old. At the age of 20, I became a dragon language scholar second to none in the Holy Dragon Empire. And now, I am over 70 years old. Just when I thought my studies with the dragon language would end here, I have been timely summoned to the Dragon Island. I even had the opportunity to see the legendary Dragon Empress and Dragon Princess. The professor shifted towards Mother, still in a kneeling posture, and prostrate before her. Oh, Your Majesty, I am your most devout believer. May I be presumptuous enough to ask for permission to stay on the Dragon Island to learn about the dragon language? There's no need to teach anything of importance to this humble devotee of yours, as long as they can be of use to me, that will be all I ask for. Mother tilted her head, giving a side glance to the professor as she said, You seem to be misunderstanding something. The old man looked confusingly at Mother. We didn't call you here to teach you our dragon language. Instead, you will be the one teaching the dragon language to my dear daughter. Mother's words pierced the old professor's heart like a mighty sword cutting through. This chapter is provided to you by Relibrary. If you are reading this, that means this content is stolen. Please support us by visiting our site. Advertisements. The old professor revealed a stupid expression that looked as if he was a beggar trying to borrow 1 million from a famous billionaire. Then he stiffly turned his head towards me like a wooden puppet. I put on my most pleasant smile and adjusted my voice to speak in a formal tone. I will be in your care from now on, teacher.